my boy, you will not and you cannot avoid God's judgment, right? You cannot avoid God's judgment, right? On Judgment Day, whenever God looks at us, he looks at us individually, right? And he's going to overlook and see what we have done in our lives, what we have done to make impact, souls we've brought to Christ, how we lived our lives, and were we a reflection of God, and were we servants of God? And a lot of times we feel like because someone else may be, not doing the things of God, that we can judge them, that we have authority to judge them. Now we can call somebody out, or not necessarily call somebody out, but we can, acknowledge it. But at the same time, we do similar things. So what makes us and gives us the authority to judge others, right? So in Romans chapter 2, beginning at verse 1, it says, "You may think you can condemn such people, but you are just as bad and you have no excuse. When you say they are wicked and should be punished, you are condemning yourself. For you who judge others do these very same things. And we know God in his justice will punish anyone who does such things. Since you judge others for doing these things, why do you think you can avoid God's judgment when you do the same things? Don't you see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient God is with you? Does this mean nothing to you? Can't you see that his kindness is intended to turn you from your sin?" That was verse 4. When I read this, the biggest key phrase that I see is, and we know that God in his justice will punish anyone who does such things. So since you judge others for doing these things, why do you think you can avoid God's judgment? Right? That's called being a hypocrite, right? You're going to do wrong things, right? You're going to do things that are bad. You're going to do things that are according to God's will. But see, you think you have the authority to judge others because of the fact that maybe you didn't make that exact mistake. But then again, you make mistakes on a daily basis. So what's really different from you and me, right? What gives you, the authority and gives you the power to judge? God is the ultimate judge. He's the ultimate physician. He's the ultimate Padawan sword. He's the ultimate master, right? If you ever watched Star Wars growing up, and whenever a Padawan, becomes a Jedi Knight, right? Usually the Padawan has like one of those little, braids or whatever. And, the master then, cuts it off and grants them, a Jedi Knight. And basically that they're no longer a rookie / Padawan learner. And, that's like an uplifting thing. That's granting them the next level. But see, that's like authority, right? But that's not them making a mistake. That's a different authority. God's authority reigns over all. God judges us, right? So what makes you think that because God has given us kindness, mercy, he's tolerated a lot of our BS, what gives you and makes you different from everyone else? Because I'll speak from a worldly view, right? The world will challenge you. The world will judge you. The world doesn't care. They will judge you for every little thing, every little stunt, every little post, every little tweet, every little eye glance, everything. The world will continuously judge you for it. And what we have to be prepared for is to be judged, especially as Christians. You have to be prepared for that, right? Because just as Jesus was criticized, crucified on the cross, and how he was criticized in his life, we will experience the same exact thing. Maybe not to the degree of him being crucified, because nothing can be replaced for that sacrifice. Nothing can compare to that sacrifice. But the kindness, the tolerating people, uplifting one another, edifying one another, that's what we need to continuously start doing. God needs you to edify, uplift one another. God doesn't need you bashing and judging others, right? Why are you judging others? Who are you? I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much status you got. I don't care if the whole world knows who you are. I don't care if you're a billionaire. You have no right to judge anyone. I don't care what you've achieved in this life. You don't have the authority to judge anyone. You don't. Everyone has gone through things. Everybody has come through different paths, different walks of life, different, traumas, different hurts, temptations. You don't understand what people have gone through. And for you to sit here and think you can just sit here and judge anyone for anything, for what they've gone through, is silly, it's petty, and it's foolish. God is the ultimate judge. He's the ultimate authority. He has all authority. He is the base. He is a structure. On Judgment Day, He will ask you, you want to hear this. You want to hear this. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done. Live your life for Christ. Not judging others. Not putting people on a pedestal, and then when you put them on a pedestal, you judge them. That's why I've never been big on, praising celebrities as much as they do, because when these celebrities make mistakes in their life, like they're not ordinary people, then since we're putting them on a pedestal, we feel like we can just continuously judge people. We don't know what these people are facing. They're facing the highest of pressure, right? You don't know these people's social life. You don't know their mental state. You don't know their spiritual life. You don't know what they physically go through on a regular day basis. You don't know who they come in contact with. You don't know. You don't know. So don't play around and think like you know, and do not judge and guess when you don't realize people's lives and people's circumstances. If you didn't learn anything else from this video, is to push for edification, to uplift people, instead of bringing them down. It is in this season that you need to do some more of that. God is asking for that, right? God is asking you to exhort each other, to uplift, to edify, to give more of yourself, to serve others. You cannot do these things if you're constantly in a state of judgment, right? If you're always in a state of judgment, you will never understand truly what that person may be dealing with. You may never understand what God can really do for you. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Take this video, apply it to your life, share it with others. As always, God bless.